Good day, everyone. My name is Sheila Lobien. I'm the CEO of Lobien Realty Group. This is our video podcast wherein we invite business leaders to talk about their inspiring stories and perspective on leadership. So let's begin. For our first ever episode this 2025, we have invited a special guest very close to my heart, interior designer Charisse Gail Bantiling. She's the Chief Workplace Strategy and Principal Designer of Ideate Interior and Architecture. So this afternoon, let's all welcome my dear Charisse Bantiling. Hi, Charisse. How are you today?
Hi, good afternoon.
Well, I like to call you Gail, but since we're here today, I'll call you Charisse.
Yes, Charisse.
So thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here in your beautiful office with the whole team. And this afternoon, I'd like to, talk about your business and about your course, your life, what's happening right now, what's making you so busy. So before we talk about that, I'd like to first start with, the beginning of Charisse. How did it all start? So we can start with that.
Maybe before I proceed with that, and yes, thank you, Sheila, and thank you to Lobien team for having me here. It's really such an honor to share this platform with you, and especially the Sheila Lobien. So when I was thinking earlier, I remember back in the days when I started in my career. I've always seen you when DGC is still booming at that time, and I was seeing your banners everywhere. And your photos. So that was years and years ago, and I've always looked up to you, and you've been such an inspiration to myself and everyone. So it's really nice to have this platform and share it with you. Where it all began for me, well, I've ever since fourth grade, this is really where I wanted to be an interior designer. If not this interior designer, an architect, mainly because I have an engineer father. There's an influence, but it wasn't forced.
It wasn't forced.
So I said, let's clear it up. I've always wanted to be a designer, and you'd find me in this infamous bookstore back then at the aisles of where the architectural books and designs are. So naturally, it's a grown career for me, and I've grown to really love it when I pursued it during my uni days. About me, I've been in industry for over 10 years now. Extensive career within the commercial space, primarily workplace and retail environments. And I have my master in design degree from University of New South Wales, focusing on design thinking and workplace strategy as a specialty within the context of interior design and architecture. How Ideate all began? Well, it was an idea during the pandemic. We've really seen a lot of people are starting to rethink the way they think about the built environment, the physical space. We've encountered many frameworks or approaches on how they will navigate the new workplace. We've heard about those. There are also conversations about the changing demographics in the workplace, and also the influence of AI being disruptive in our industry. All this became a point where I thought, hang on, there's really a change in the way we think about the built environment. And we really need to start rethinking how we approach these spaces. And when we think about the physical space, the first thing that comes in mind, it's really just creating an attractive workplace. Because it's brand impression, it represents the company in that context. But really, there's more to it. And if you look deeper into especially workplaces, there's this behavior that you have to consider. There's optimization, how they utilize it behind it. And that case, allowed me to really rethink the way I approach design, and hence I created IT.
Okay, that's the start of ideas.
So all these gaps that I've seen, we therefore creating IT.
So that's the beginning. All right. Before we focus on that, I'd like to go back and ask about, you said in the beginning, it was your choice really that your mom and dad did not force you.
Yes.
You really wanted to become an interior designer. And that's great, right?
Yeah.
You from the beginning you really want that. So is that not because you have seen your dad, because he said he's an engineer, and it's also an influence, right? Because you see your dad all the time, maybe working, touching things, construction site, I don't know. And probably Matt has influenced you.
Yes, of course, for sure. Because I've grown in that industry, I've seen everyone and how they do it. But what makes it different was his perspective as an engineer is really at the technical matters, whereas for mine, it's the art of designing and defying things, and also the way human behaves within the physical spaces. So it's really different frameworks, but it's in the same industry.
In a way.
Yeah, in a way.
So it's easy. You get some inspiration also.
Correct. And I learn a lot from him as well.
That's good. Because I know a lot of families and they have kids also. And most of the time, the kids, they do not want to follow what the the parents are doing. So about that, it's good to see a different side, a different story. It's talking about, you mentioned about pandemic, and then from there, you started ideate and the story about workplace and optimizing offices. So it's a bit technical, but probably for our audience here, talk about that one, optimizing space, why it's important.
Yeah.
Aside from making it beautiful, because some companies also, they're not after beautifying the space, they just want it to be really useful and in a way value for money. They want it really, packed as many people in a small space so that they won't have to spend much, because after the pandemic, people are more conscious about their spending.
Yeah. Well, primarily, especially here in the Philippines, the main goal for when we do a move to a new space or redesign their current space, it's all about the cost efficiency. But every time I share this with the stakeholders, the clients, I tell them, not that I talk them up, just thinking about it in a cost efficient lens, but I tell them the importance of investing towards these spaces. Because yes, it's a place where you house your employees. It is a symbol of your organization, but more so, it brings an impact to the business at the lens of your employees get motivated because you created a space designed to the way they do activities or their work. You created a space that resonates best with them. And when we provide these opportunities to our workforce, they get excited. They feel more productive because they are allowed to select the spaces that where they will thrive. And of course, this creating this space, not only it is functional for them and attractive, it supports your brand in a way that you can connect it to what your business objectives are and your goals, and could be a tangible reflection of your values, your initiatives. And thinking about it in that way, you will start rethinking that, there are many ways naman how we can make it cost efficient, but you have to start at a point where you value all these frameworks as you do the design, and not just think about, okay, we need a space, sure, we need to put in more quantity here rather than a quality office. But we tick all the boxes so everyone becomes successful in the physical space.
So is that not hard for you to convince, especially in this market where...
Oh, it is really hard. When I came back from Australia, it was really difficult to get them to understand what workplace strategy really meant, because especially for local clients, for foreigners, sure, they have an idea about it because this is what's practiced overseas. But for here, really their thought of the physical space, it's just putting a table, desk, having a space for the 9 to 5 job. But then I was able to manage their expectations and make them understand on why it's needed, because they've seen when the employees become successful, when the physical space becomes a symbol of your brand, the business thrives. And there's what you were saying earlier, the return of their investment. I mean, you're already investing. Why not make it quality investment, not just coming up with a space?
So when employees are happy, in the end, the business becomes profitable.
Yes.
So that's the educational part of the business. Your business is to educate the market also, that they have to invest, not just, in making sure that the space is efficient. They have to spend a little more to make the, of course, employees happy.
Yeah.
In the long run, when the employees are happy, they'll produce better results.
Yeah, it's just really navigating how this meets the needs of the business while also meets the needs of the workforce and, of course, the ever-changing landscape. So we don't know what's going to happen next again, and we have to make sure when we do this, it won't last you 6 months or a year or 5 years or 10 years. Sure, there will be changes and the trends, but you know for sure that you can move things around because this was designed intentionally.
Now let's talk about how you manage your team.
Yeah.
Now that you have people, you're managing teams. So tell us about how you do it yourself as a leader now, from being an employee now to you running your own show.
I know.
What are the challenges and probably joys that you've experienced?
Yeah. Well, we've been in the industry now. While my experience is already extensive, ID8 has only been in the industry for going 2 years now, and we've proudly can say have clients already that have been impressed with our work and understood what we are really doing. Managing the team, really what I'm proud of is we have created this culture of controlled collaboration.
Wow, control collaboration.
How is that? No, I call it controlled collaboration because sometimes they think about collaboration as just having discussions, having this team meetings. But for us, it's a productive team meeting. So there's that. There's where we encourage interactions and teamwork. But also while on that, we have focus times for individual tasks. We prioritize and we respect professional expertise as well. So we make sure we create a holistic environment where even if we have different types of professionals in our organization. So we've got interior designers, architects, and engineers. And you know what they say about when all these people come together, it's the creative. It gets crazy because there will be some point in there where we don't understand each other, but because we have found this controlled collaboration where we respect their insights and likewise they do my insights, we're able to thrive as an individual and also as a team. And therefore they became high performing individuals and we're a quick team.
So how do you do you ask them to come to the office every day, or it's like, right now, hybrid work is like popular, or they can work anywhere. When you don't see them, there's controlled collaborations. Yeah. How is
So during the pandemic, this is my honest opinion about this buzzing question for everyone, and also I have to share my insights about it. And I'll be frank, when I was in Australia and I am doing calls with my team via online platforms, sure, in the beginning it was okay. But then once you have the projects, it became difficult. Because again, we came from different professions. And if the profession in itself is already different, and if we don't meet to the same purpose, we won't really align yung intentions namin. Kasi it's too
impersonal.
There's no understanding, and there's a tendencies for inefficiencies and misunderstandings because you won't be able to express what you really mean. And kami, we really thrive in collaborations. The architect needs to share their insights. The engineers need to share their insight. And if it's all over online platforms, sometimes it gets misunderstood. And doing that online exercise was really challenging for us. And we found that with our clients even, it was difficult through because our job really has to be a mix of connecting to clients and us as a team while also being able to share to them our technical insights. And it's a 2 to 3 hours meeting. And just imagine
Difficult to have everything.
doing that every day with your clients gets too exhausting for them. So yeah, there's that. But currently in the office, we are required to be in the office. However, we have flexibility in the time that we come into the office.
So that's what do you call that leadership style that you have now? As we're young,
Yeah.
I'm sure you're still trying to navigate that. You have probably, I don't know, younger staff or older than you. And it's different and it's sometimes difficult to manage those types. Younger or older than you would have different.
Asak, yeah. It's been pretty interesting, honestly.
Mas mahirap kausap.
Back siguro with my previous role, I'd say, I want to be on my own na because,
Okay.
it's
Easier to manage.
you get stubborn and you don't like to listen. But then today, I realized, honestly, having to run my own business, I'm like, I need my seniors, I need my mentors. And it's funny because like, it's a full circle for you, realize, and then you know what, you don't really have it all figured out and you're gonna need support to get through to all of this. And also, in my team, it's funny because I'm the eldest now. I'm the oldest of the bunch, which I don't know if I feel okay. And it's really good. But I learn a lot from the younger generations. And it's interesting how everyone navigates. And I'm lucky because I have mentors also. You mentors.
You need that.
So I ask questions about business, about insights, about how the market looks like. I know
everyone there, right?
Yes, you really need that mentor and support. But overall, while we have younger generations in our workforce, it's been really great because we have an open conversation in terms of how we navigate the projects. I let them have a platform to shine. Actually, sa amin, I don't want someone who just sits at the corner and waits for advice because I don't do that. I admit that I acknowledge that there are some things that I don't understand. Oh, yeah. And I have my weaknesses to it sometimes. When you get stretched too much, you don't have room anymore to think about the things and you miss on some items. And I don't want my team to suffer because it all depends on me. So in our organization and to these younger generations, I really make sure that they have a voice here, that their inputs are heard because I am 100% sure they have a very good idea that I didn't even think about.
So they are empowered.
Yes, they are empowered like that. I would prefer for my team to have a spotlight that's sick at the back, and that's really what I don't appreciate.
You don't want followers.
I see why.
People who can think. Empowered.
Innovate. Our business needs innovation, and if you just wait for advices from your leaders, you're not gonna grow. You won't see what other things you can do outside of your comfort zone. So I really want them to speak up. There's nothing right or wrong, especially for our case. It's design. It could be subjective. It just depends on how you really drive the whole narrative, the framework, how you share it with your clients. So there's really nothing to.
And a good leader. You're a good leader because I think a good leader should develop another leader. And if you are doing that, then you're encouraging people to really grow.
Yeah, that's what I want. I don't want everything to revolve around it. I want a business that's sustainable. I don't want it to just be about me because I want it to be about everyone because I'm an interior designer. I can't decide on behalf of an engineer.
That's true.
That's the reason why we have our expertise and our specialties. So we have to really try and work together and trust one another. And because of that controlled collaboration that we are practicing, we're able to have we go to the same direction and we drive to that same purpose.
I'll try to practice the controlled collaboration. Unlike you, you're interior designer and you're running a business. I'm also a practitioner and I'm running a business. Sometimes it's not easy because, when you're running a business and also you're like you, an interior designer, and I'm also the consultant and the broker. I'm also managing clients. And at the same time, I have a team to manage. So sometimes it's not easy.
I think that's the most challenging bit of my profession. And also, I grew up as a designer. So naturally, I'm creative. I don't even know about operations and I didn't even bother before to look at finances. And because I'm a business leader now, I need to go and look at my creative side and the operation
Side.
and while also managing people, finances, compliances, all of these things at once. Kaya I really, not that I'm saying I'm fully entrusting everything to my team. There's this control to it. But I know they are empowered to be able to decide on some things that they can already, I know they can already, they don't have to run to you all the time. No, they ask for it. That's what I want. That's what I really want the organization to be.
True. Now, going to that aspect about the business and you're running things on your own. So, for those who are aspiring also, young women out there or probably not so young, and they want to have their own business too. So, what's your advice? What are the things that they should focus on? Ano ba yung mga dapat nilang malaman if you have your own business? What's important? You talked about finance, operation, audit, etc. So, if there are like 2-3 things that they should look at, what are those items?
I wouldn't say a specific department, but maybe a character that they need to look into and build upon. So for me, the biggest would be one yun nga, letting go and trusting of the team. Because while I'll already know, and sometimes you have tendencies kasi to perfect things, and because I grew in the technical side, I tend to want to have that precision and perfection because I'm always based on timeline.
Is there creative also?
Yes. But then, if you're a business leader, you have to be adaptive to what the landscape, where the landscape goes. So, one, yun nga, you have to be able to go outside of your comfort zone of just looking at the challenges, at how you were raised to be, like of operations, and you don't have to just look at it at that technical standpoint, see through to other values as well. Other things, have a mentor. And you know what?
Very important.
Very important. You don't accept the fact that you don't have it all figured out. You're gonna be wrong. You're going to make mistakes, especially in your early years in the business. But I'm very grateful to be surrounded by mentors I can ask to, and because I'm able to accept my weaknesses and also be able to appreciate my strengths. I think I'm doing great in the organization. And having these mentors really is pivotal for me because I know I need them. I need someone to sound off my ideas because sometimes when you're young, you tend to be risk taker. You get overly excited. You keep forgetting the other factors that comes with it, especially with sometimes when I'm pressured and I see an employee not performing well, in my head sometimes I feel like, Doug. But because I have these mentors, these advisors, they tell me what's going on, look at it in this way, and all that. It gives me a different perspective. Yeah. Kasi nung nasa operations side ako, I look like sweet and all, but I'm pretty tough.
That's good.
When I have my deadlines, I have my deadlines. But navigating that and then the business side, you have to be really agile and adaptive, and you really have to work along all of these influences, factors. So I really think having a mentor is going to be pivotal for you.
Crucial.
Yeah.
So what's next for Gail?
What's next for me?
Yeah.
It's gonna keep going.
Or ideate. For Charisse and ideate.
Well, short term, of course, we're gonna keep going. We're really excited because we've been tapped to do exciting projects that I didn't think I would ever be able to handle. So it's
Congratulations.
I know, thank you. It's such a milestone for an organization. We're growing exponentially, and I wasn't expecting it to grow. Akala ko talaga I'm gonna be cruising for years lang. Still trying to figure it out, whatever, make mistakes. But this time, it kind of like forced you to really focus and be intentional on direction of the business. But long term, because we have presence in Australia as well, I want to be able to solidify that presence
Okay.
and make sure, kasi I think my fulfillment and one of the key reasons as well why we built ID is when I lived in Australia, and I work for a certain company, an Australian company too. I saw how different our working ethics.
Okay.
And there's really a massive difference to it where I felt like, you know what? Filipinos are quite talented. We're really talented and we're hardworking. We're so talented. We have a lot of creativity in us, and we deserve to be seen in the international stage. So hopefully, that's my long-term goal, for them to see how talented Filipinos are, how creative we are, and flip naman.
Okay.
I really want the Filipino talent to be outside of just Philippines. International organizations need.
And employ to see their locals or Filipino being,
You'll never know. It might be expand.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? We'll see. But what I make sure, whatever we do at the moment, it gears us and prepares us towards that bigger goal. And I'm really happy that my team, the whole iDate organization, really is prepping, really prepping for that.
For that, how will you manage the two now? 50 here, 50% there, 50.
That's why it's important for me to really have
Clone yourself. Oo.
virtual one.
Yeah,
virtual. Kaya nga ang dimple really is for my team to be really good here, to be ready
So
for when I
can,
have to
like,
go back and forth. And I think where I'm at, I'm really happy, and I feel great that some of the projects actually I don't have to worry. I don't need it. Yeah, I have to be there, and I don't worry because
they can
manage. And it's really nice because it allows me to focus on what I do best and the bigger picture of the organization, which is our growth.
That's true.
And on top of that, you're seeing potential leaders. You never know. Where's for me in different regions? At least these are the talents that I can see can lead this certain space.
Yeah. Build another leader.
Yes, because I want it to be sustainable. I really want the organization to be sustainable.
So that's the woman power, no woman leader. Happy Women's Month. Again, and growing. So finally, as a woman leader, what do you think are the parang difference? You're also running your business, right? Compared to, let's say, your dad who's also running his own thing. What do you think are the difference, or what are you trying to change now that you have your own and you're a woman, you're leaving the company too?
Oh gosh, she's gonna make fun of you when I say, you know what, I need him.
Okay.
It's a good balance for us.
You always need the
I
support.
Really, I know.
Male champion.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I think for me, because I acknowledge my strengths and weaknesses, I mean, I'm in the design and construction world, and I admit that I cannot carry a beam. I cannot carry that to the other side, but I'll tell you how we can carry the beam. What are the things to do, the methodologies to carry the beam from one point to the other. But the actual carrying of itself, I don't know how, and I'm gonna need med in my life.
Okay.
So, in terms of our leadership, we're at this age in my life, and maybe what I have accumulated, all the learnings, we have a healthy working relationship because he provides me an understanding of the whys, and I'm already at the point where I understand why. And sometimes for men, they need a little bit of that emotions.
Yeah.
So empathy to it. So they would start understanding, hearing other thoughts of outside of the rigid
The
way of navigating strings. I get what they mean in terms of being straightforward. You have to make tough decisions, tough solve. But sometimes you need to empathize too on the very reasons on why they got to that certain problem. So where we're at, it's been really great because we've come already to that point. I remember back then talagang we butt heads.
No, no, don't
No, we're really in sync, and I'm really excited because I have Sheila and my mom.
They're supportive.
They're very supportive, and we listen to each other. Okay,
That's
all years, because he has insights, my generation has insights, and we try to understand each other.
and finally, in the future, partner who will support you. That's another story.
Hello. Or who's gonna see this?
Okay.
That's a story for another day.
Oh, another story, another podcast. Okay, for now. So, final question for all those who are aspiring to also be an interior designer or to put up their own business. You've already answered that. But maybe for those who also would like to be an interior designer someday or to have a career in this industry, your advice, what would you tell them? Don't do it. Do it because it's fun, like what you're saying. You want to build an empire here in the Philippines because girls can do it.
Yeah. See,
Girls can do it.
see, do it. Well, related to what you're saying, don't do it. Not that I'm saying don't do it. Well, number one, you must love what you do.
That's true.
Because in anything that we do, there will always be setbacks, challenges, all these obstacles. If you are not passionately in love with what you do, it's hard to see through and fight through these obstacles because you'll already feel like, okay, I'm defeated. I don't know what to do. Whereas if you really love it, there's this burning fire from you trying to find solutions and ways because there must be a way.
Yeah, and you'd never give up.
Yes. And second, I guess, learn. Never stop learning. And we've seen how the world evolved against all of these challenges. So if we stop learning, we'll be left behind. But if we continue learning, even going out, engaging with the nature, not just people, reading, journaling, listening to podcasts, learning from mentors, whatever it is, it's always a way of learning. So
Evolving.
keep learning so the evolving landscape won't leave you behind. And third, no, I have fun. I think that's what's challenging for this generation, even my generation and the new generation. I heard stories and I've read some articles on how they've experienced so much mental stress from the work. It's because sometimes we don't think about it, but we overthink about it too much. Just relax and breathe. And you, again, like I said, you won't have it really all figured out. And if you relax and breathe, you will allow for a space to have that answer. So don't take it too much. Don't overthink about it, and just really have fun. That's why you're at it.
Enjoy the moment.
Enjoy. It's never going to be perfect. You just have to have fun. And the moment that you realize you let go of all this overthinking, for some reason, opportunities, answers keep pouring yours.
Yeah, have a positive mindset.
It's difficult already. Why not? Why dwell on it?
That's
It's
true.
already difficult.
That's true. Fantastic afternoon with you, Charisse.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I learned so many things this afternoon, Gail. Your mom and dad, they're very lucky to have you. I'm sure they're very proud of you. You make me so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us in our video podcast. I hope you learn a lot from our conversation with our interior designer, Charisse Bantiling. She's very energetic and she has big plans for the Philippines. So please stay with us and follow us on our next video podcast. For more real estate update, you may follow us on our social media platform. Thank you very much.